Hi, this is a regular monthly board meeting of the Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority, and I call this meeting to order. Mr. Lawrence, any letters or communications to the board?
No, Mr. Chairman, but I did send out a board read file, and there was some, I think we'll try to keep some of that already ahead of time. So if you're interested, just a lot of articles and just keep it the board up to date.
Good. Board minutes.
Oh, well, one thing Patty picked out is we made the French paper in Gatineau, right?
Yeah.
And you translated it?
Yeah. Well, only the part that, I don't have a subscription, so I couldn't get it all, but it's from the French side.
Oh,
So we actually made it that far.
good. If anyone has any questions before we move on? Nicole, how's your French?
My Spanish is good. My French is pretty selective. I don't think you'd want to hear it. Certainly not appropriate for a board meeting.
It's a nice picture.
It is a nice picture.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Again, approval of board minutes.
The April minutes are not done yet.
Okay, reports, committee reports, finance committee.
So Patty has been knee deep with the audit. So we just have our month-end financials to go over. So I'll turn that over to her. We did not meet as a regular committee this month because of the audit.
Okay, Patty?
And you all have these nifty little sheets. We started with the bridge last month's board meeting, so I wanted to continue with the rest of the income accounts. And the general, if we start with the airport, the general is broken down into the two sections you see down below, rent and everything else. And you'll notice that income came up 254,000 higher than we budgeted. The fuel sales, of course, we knew were going to be much lower than we budgeted. And with the change from us, with the OBPA owning the fuel in the tank to Breeze owning the fuel in the tank, we will only be showing an income of exactly what we sell. And the AEAS, of course, ended in September, and the shortfall there is simply because there weren't as many flights as we anticipated them having.
Wait a minute. Need to think about that. Didn't we pay for actual flights, or did we pay if it was mechanical and not weather related?
No, we only paid for what actually flew, but we had budgeted for the prescribed number of flights. So the shortfall is the fact that they didn't fly
As many.
as we had anticipated.
All right, thank you.
The PFC money that's down below that's highlighted, that is restricted money, but we keep it on the income because it can be used for specific things such as striping the runway. So we do get to use the income, but it's for very specific things.
And notice how it jumps in February, March
Mm-hmm.
because of the Breeze flights.
Mm-hmm.
Real money.
Real money, exactly.
And so if we go over to Commerce Park, you always have the ups and downs of customers, tenants coming and going. So there were a couple of months where we were down, but we've been up most of the year, thanks to bringing in a couple of new tenants into the Commerce Park.
So this is actually Anthony's job, right?
Mhm.
And
Just responsible for the red.
Well, you made an effort too, during the whole, to incorporate because of COVID and things, we kind of kept things kind of on the level. But
Right.
Anthony's bringing a lot of the leases back into line with where they should be. So that explains some of the rise in income there that we're trying to claw back a little bit.
And the last one is the marine terminal. And this, to me, was the most important because we did have a big shortfall from the marine terminal this year. And if you look at the bottom, you will see that the biggest under budget area was wharfage. And we had anticipated with the budget that we got that we would have approximately 6 to 7 ships. So that's where we lost our money on the port.
So we only have 4,
3 ships?
3,
Two.
2?
And then there are just 2 expenses that I just wanted to bring to everyone's attention. The first is our interest that we paid for the fiscal year. And you'll notice of the total interest paid, almost all of it was attributed to interest paid on lines of credit or loans and mortgages. Approximately 67, 80 to 85,000 alone was just lines of credit.
Is any loan finish in this budget year?
Pardon?
Is there any loan that finishes up this budget year?
We paid off the promissory note to MEPCO in December of '24.
Okay.
And it didn't happen until April, but the land mortgage is gone thanks to the sale of the property to the school.
Okay.
And you'll see on the last sheet that just gives us, on the back page, it shows you the principal portion of the debt. So together, we are at approximately 1.5 with debt payments each year.
Any questions? Nicole?
No questions.
Sounds like federal interest. Anyone, any questions of Patty?
No.
Patty, anything else?
The auditors have gone. They were very happy. There are only 2 things they need from us. One is in my court, and I'll have it tomorrow. The other is coming from the actuary firm. And they left yesterday morning, quite happy.
Good.
Excellent. That's great.
They did call me as board chair, asked me questions about you and the accounting function. You too. No, very, very pleased with everything, how well it went, how easy it was to have the information and go over it, and how cooperative you two and others were. So that's good to hear. They were very well pleased.
Good.
That's good. Anything else?
That's it.
Patty? No? No questions? We'll move on to the Personnel Committee report.
So we've had a significant number of candidates apply after we put the positions out for new resumes. We had interviews yesterday and one today. And I think we've got 2 candidates that we'll put offers out to shortly and maybe a third. So it's looking good. Yeah, I think we had some really qualified candidates. It was great. So that's hopefully we can get somebody, a few people in the office to help take a little stress off your plates soon.
Good. Any questions of Megan? No? Let's move on to the bridge traffic report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You can see on the report that Patty put in your packet, April 2025 overall crossings were down 39% over April of 2019. April 20 overall crossings were down 30% over last year. Auto crossings were down 43%. Truck traffic was down 17% over 2019. And overall revenue is down roughly 85,900 over April 2019. And it's down 45,800 over last year. Loss of revenue for January through April budget year. I think, I had 103, but it looks like it's 184. Would that be correct? And and if you look in that on the very bottom left corner there, you look at the percentage change, and it goes from 5 to 20 to 35 to 42. I don't know, have we bottomed out, or is it going to be uniform going out through with a reduction, or is it going to just get higher? So May is going to kind of tell us how we're trending. These are basically 20 and 21 numbers from COVID, and it's quite concerning.
We've had, we've reported everything onto the state.
Yes. And also we contacted Congresswoman. We've given them, they're aware of that, and also the 2 senators. And I reached out. You asked last meeting, probably within the week. I believe I contacted between 16 and 18 local leaders.
Good.
With a kind of a update on all of that, and got quite a bit of response and support there, and kind of got secondary conversations going. And I certainly appreciate people are listening, but some of this is kind of beyond, we can deal with what's in our world here, but we're constantly affected by international trends right now. So we'll do what we can to maneuver our way to a better place.
Is it as drastic in other parts of New York State as it is here? Do you know?
For crossings,
Yes.
some of them are dependent on, they have a lot of daily commuter people that work. So yes, the trend is similar, but it's not as severe. But they're concerned also. But I know right around Niagara Falls and the Erie crossings, they're really concerned about summertime with that. and just, they're just seeing things that they haven't seen in a while with, basically, how easy it is to cross. And that kind of just an early indicator. And we were talking about that today. Truck traffic looks heavier, but that may be because we don't see as many cars.
Yeah,
And we're heavily with the day trip, and we don't have a lot of, employee-based traffic.
right.
Although I am surprised some of the stories that I hear from different people at the schools and things of the number of, and nurses that do commute.
Monday is Victoria Day.
Correct.
Yes.
Yep.
Be interesting to see.
Yep.
What traffic is like compared to past years. And I've heard complaints from Canadian travelers that even at coming across the border, the attitude they're getting from employees has changed, which is unfortunate. A lot of people, we've gone across the border one way or the other for years, and it's always been friendly. All those that work on both sides of the border. Let's hope it doesn't change and disrupt the friendliness that has occurred from those traveling across our border. We don't need that.
No. Any questions?
Nicole, any questions on that?
No question, just I guess a little bit of a comment rant. I mean, we're looking at this more isolated kind of because this is crippling to us, and so we're certainly feeling it. But this is impacting 13 states and over 100 border crossings, and it's impacting both sides of the border. I think that we should reach out beyond our own representatives in New York State, and this is it is concerning, and it's crippling to a lot of these communities. From all the way East Coast to West Coast. And I think there's always strength in numbers and loud voices, and any way that we can work together to make these concerns known, I think is just really valuable. That's just my 2 cents.
I'm wondering, in relation to that, how the Northern Border Commission, have they discussed any of this?
No. Being a federal agency, I would say that
That's true.
that would be something they wouldn't really have an opinion one way or another.
Right, but Nicole brings up a interesting point that it's not just us, it's not just New York State, all the way from Maine, across through New Hampshire, Vermont, all the way across the country to the West Coast. It's got to be disturbing.
Well, we're doing something on our own. Anthony's reached out to a sign company there, and we're purchasing a banner to put over our sign out here that welcomes Canadians, and it's very Canadian centric, and it's basically, I can't remember what was the.
Yeah, it's basically welcoming our neighbors. That
We're
you're,
glad-
you're welcome here. We're glad you're here.
English and French?
No, not in French, just
Mm.
just that with an emphasis on the maple leaf and the US. And I think it's a good design.
Yeah.
Good.
But
Well,
we're
it'll
just,
utilize that electronic sign.
and we're,
that's been
we're
down
kind of
for
hoping maybe
years.
it catches on just locally where, you can, I don't know, make more of them or something like that, just to at least get a start with, with something, and we'll do a press release on that.
Good,
Very nice.
very good. Nicole, anything else?
No, that's it. And thank you for being proactive with that, Steve.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Now we'll move on to the airport activity report. And I see Charlie's not here. It's my understanding there is a issue within his family. So who's,
I can take it. So for the month of April, there was a 27% flight load and a 100% completion. Always nice to see that number.
always nice.
Charlie did pass along some notes that I did want to share with you guys. The last Florida flight departed April 27th. Overall, a great success. Good feedback from the passengers and the airline. They're hopeful to bring that flight back around Thanksgiving time. Starting Labor Day, September 1st, the Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and Friday flights will departure IAD at 8:30 in the morning, arriving in OGS at 10:02, and then departing OGS 10:47, arriving in AAD at 12:25, with hope to catch some passengers, some connecting flights, and work towards more appetizing.
So back in
Connecting
DC around noon?
Yep.
So that bank of flights that goes everywhere else,
You can catch.
I was gonna say is around that time.
That's a big deal. That's
Good.
pretty good.
And that's,
That's great.
yeah, I think, Nicole, when we discussed Breeze in the beginning, that was one of your concerns?
Yeah, it certainly was. There's competition around us, right? And so people oftentimes look for what's their quickest way and how they can maximize both ends of their trip. And so that was certainly one of the concerns. So I'm so glad to hear that they've listened to our feedback and they've listened to the customers' feedback, and they're willing to make modifications to their flight schedule to balance really the needs of our community. So I think that shows that they're supporting the community that they've become part of.
Good. Keep going. You had more, Jim?
Nicole, just to piggyback on that, they did say that wasn't just, they weren't just blowing hot air. They actually made good on what they said they would attempt to do. And, I'm very pleased about that.
Got more?
Yeah, a couple operational. The PAPI flight inspection was completed a few weeks ago. Passed with no further action. The FAA inspection was completed. A couple minor findings and suggestions, but nothing really noteworthy. And Charlie has on here noted that the App 139 was a great addition to them to be able to provide a lot of the documentation ahead of time. And that was all I had.
Good. I sent out a few pictures from this week when I was out there when Charlie gave me a quick tour that we can actually go to because they're doing some forward when we were out there. He had to show me his office. He's pretty proud of that. Yeah, I don't know how much you'll be in it. Anything else on airport? Any questions? Nicole, any questions for James?
No questions for me. Thank you for sharing the progress. It is super exciting to see.
Good. Port activity reports.
So port related, we are continuing to unload and load ag products. Salt orders have been filled. We received our first vessel in early April, the Mark W. Barker bow self-unloading vessel that discharged 18,500 tons. ILA staff then set up and used the new the loaders, the new generator, feeder conveyor, and the stacking conveyor, and relocated about 14,500 tons. It was a good exercise to get familiar with the equipment, and just a great addition to our fleet to be more efficient in operations. We're actually expecting a second vessel this Sunday midday on the 18th. We've conducted site visits and calls with possible customers looking to bring in more ag feed and possibly steel tarp to our facilities. To just cover some more operational stuff while I have you. The bridge crew has started pressure washing the open steel deck bridge to remove the salt and sand from the winter months. We received the final bridge inspection a few weeks ago with some floor joist repairs that were noted. That will be our primary focus this season. As of Monday, we will have 3 college students and 2 bridge crew members starting
Good.
with us. And the tree debris cleanup will be completely finished by tomorrow. Putney Tree removed all the stumps in the trees. CSEA staff operated the excavator that we rented for a week's time and cleaned up the area.
It does look a lot better over there.
Yeah. And it'll be hydro seeded by tomorrow. So good project done, and hopefully it's a little more appealing for the public eye.
Mhm. I see the plate you had at the end of the bridge on the Canadian side was replaced, and that's much better than what it was.
Yeah, last fall we hired an additional New York State Bridge certified welder, and our staff fabricated some steel ahead of time, and with his assistance and our crew, they were able to remove the 2 plates, and it's a much smoother.
Yes. Anything else? Any question of James?
Thank you.
Not, Anthony?
Great. So just focusing really on building occupancy report for this meeting. We recently had a larger tenant leave us. They ceased operations. So we took about a 5% hit in our occupancy rate. So we've been focusing on revamping that space, freshening it up, being it's completely empty. I've got to give a lot of kudos to our maintenance folks for really sprucing it up, making it look nice for potential tenants. We do have that space is a little unique, and it's got warehouse and office, but then it also has it's kind of longer office suite that we have the capability of leasing out just the offices. And then there'd be shared space, shared facilities. So we're really pushing on that approach. That would be building 3.
Building 3.
Yep. So there's a few companies we've been talking to take that space. So we're really trying to push on that to accommodate. We're shuffling a current office tenant to take the first office of that suite. We've talked to a number of companies that are looking to have a U.S. presence, but just get their feet in the U.S., just small presence. And
Is that changing? Are you getting more inquiries about?
We're getting more on the foreign trade zone. There's other locations across the country that are getting a lot more. I would have thought there would have been more interest, but that certainly is a good program to offer stability for the current tariff situation.
Right.
So that's what we'd really like to push on to try to get that utilized. And there's been some local interest, I think, to a smaller level, but to really capitalize on Canadian companies to use it would be ideal. So we've had numerous conversations, nothing's stuck yet, but.
At least there's some movement.
Yes, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it definitely is a good selling feature for us and actually county-wide, so
Yes.
it's nice.
Good. Anything else? Any questions of Anthony? Nicole?
No, thank you, I'm good.
You're not even going to ask him if he's getting more sleep? No?
Was he losing sleep?
Well, there is a little one in the house now, so.
Oh, well, that's what happens. It makes you appreciate the moments you get even more.
His eyes are a little bit more open than they were last week. So.
True.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Nicole.
Okay. Any unfinished business, Mr. Lawrence?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, business items, agenda item A1.
Agenda item A1 is authorization for use of the authority recreational trail by Seaway Valley Prevention Center. The authority has received a request from Seaway Valley Prevention Center to use the Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority's recreation trail on September 13, 2025, for the purpose of conducting its annual recovery run event. The Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority, the authority supports community-based programs and recognizes the value of the recovery run in raising awareness for substance abuse prevention and recovery. The executive director has recommended approval of this request subject to the terms and conditions set forth in the letter agreement dated April 7, 2025, including provisions related to liability insurance, event logistics, cleanup, indemnification, permitting, waiver of deposit, and acceptance of the present premises in an as-is condition.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion's been made, or second?
Second.
And seconded, any discussion? All right, who's calling the roll today?
Somebody call the roll?
Mr. King,
Yes.
Ms. Burns.
Yes,
Ms. Terminelli,
Yes.
Ms. Whitten,
Yes.
Ms. Parrot,
Yes.
thank you. Before we go into the next agenda item, I would like to ask for executive session for,
It would be for the medical, financial, credit, employment history of a particular person or corporation or matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation.
okay?
There will be action coming out of this, just to let everybody know.
Okay, so I need a motion to go executive session.
So moved.
Second
Second.
and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, we're entering executive session. Okay, we're back in public session. It is 6:06 PM. Mr. Lawrence, any business to be conducted?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, agenda item H1 needs to be reviewed and approved.
And that is
It's the Commerce Park campus. It's the Child Care Initiative project. It's rejection of bids for the OBPA Child Care Initiative project.
Okay.
Bids were solicited and opened for the construction of the Child Care Initiative project at the Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority on April 17th, 2025. 4 bids for the above referenced project were received. A bid summary is below. Here are the in ascending order. The low bid was Dow Electric at $5,708,000. Number 2 was Contact, $6,375,000. DC Building was $6,698,000, and Northern Tier was $6,799,900. Following an extensive evaluation and analysis of bids by CS engineers and the OBPA staff, it was determined that all bid amounts significantly exceed the project's available construction budget. After careful consideration, the Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority Board of Directors has determined that it is in the best interest of the authority to reject all bids received for the Child Care Initiative project.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Mr. Burns,
Yes.
Ms. Terminelli,
Yes.
Ms. Whitten,
Yes.
Ms. Parrot,
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Agenda item G1.
Agenda item G1, border station approval of HVAC service agreement with Train. The HVAC system at the border station location is critical to the lease space and must adhere to strict performance standards set forth by the GSA lease. The HVAC equipment is manufactured by Trane. Sufficient expertise is not available within the OBPA to perform these services. The use of Trane for border station HVAC maintenance and repair is a historical relationship, and the continuation of which is in the best interest of the authority. Trane is an OGS certified contractor to perform these related tasks. Staff reviewed the details of this purchase and recommends purchasing the service from Trane.
Thank you. Their motion?
So
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Now, has Trane already replaced the unit at the border station?
No,
Was another a unit at one of the buildings in Commerce Park?
they worked on the compressor at the border station.
Okay,
That's been completed, yes.
okay. Any further discussion? Not call the roll, please.
Ms. Terminelli?
Yes.
Ms. Whitten?
Yes.
Ms. Pellet?
Yes.
Mr. King?
yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes. Mr. Lawrence, any other such matters?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Any concluding comments from staff or board? Anyone online?
No.
No one online? If not, our next meeting date is scheduled for Thursday, June 12th at 5. How is that looking for members? Nicole, you're still not out of school yet, are you?
No, I have a school board meeting at 7:00, but I can just get permission to go late to it.
Okay. You never know what's going to be on the agenda, so. Anyone else? Dave?
I think I can do it.
Ooh. Megan?
Yep, I'm all set.
Oh, Di?
Right now, it looks okay.
Holy cow. So you think of that, Patty? I know you don't.
As
you
of
can't
right
believe
now,
it.
don't jinx it. Yeah. Don't jinx it.
Ha! All right, contact those two members we're missing. Okay, nothing else. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Anyone opposed? We stand adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
For calling me in.
Thanks, Jen.
Sure, thanks for participating.
Good night.